Hi guys, it's me, Ms. Mason, here with you again for another activity. This is going to be part 2 of our 1-point perspective school hallway drawing. And just as a refresher, this is what we drew last time. Okay, got our ceiling, our wall, our floor, our other wall, the back wall. I'm going to add some more things to this today. I'm going to add a water fountain, some lockers, and another hallway going off to the side. And I'm going to show you how to do all of that today, okay? So I've got my eraser, my pencils. Again, if you have a mechanical pencil, these do work the best. If you don't, good old ordinary pencil is just fine, okay? Now, remember I showed you using the envelope edge as a ruler. You don't have to have a ruler, but if you do, that's great. If you don't, just get a piece of junk mail, okay? All right, so I'm going to tilt this down, and there's what we're doing today, 1-point perspective school hallway. You can Google that same phrase and see all kinds of cool pictures that other people have made. All right, so I'm going to start by adding a water fountain. I'm going to put it over here in front of the doorway. Now remember that water fountains stick out just a little bit into the hallway. So I'm going to use my straight-edged envelope, and I'm just going to draw a little line sticking out in the hallway. Okay, let's see, there we go, that little line right there. Okay, and then I'm going to use my envelope again. I'm going to draw it sticking up, not quite the same height as the window and the door, a little bit shorter than that. Okay, we're just going to make this water fountain, and then sideways another horizontal line right there, okay? And then I'm going to finish that rectangle. Now notice I'm not using the vanishing point on this right now. We're just drawing a simple rectangle, just like that, right there in the corner, okay? Or wherever you want. And notice that it's sticking out, it's overlapping the floor just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and erase those other lines that are inside my rectangle because we don't need those. And they make things confusing if you leave them there, okay? So I just erased those extra lines. So now I've just got a nice rectangle. All right, now we're going to use the vanishing point. So I'm going to connect the bottom of my rectangle to the vanishing point, and look at that. It almost lines up with the floor perfectly. So I'm just going to leave that like that. I'm just going to make a nice dark little line there. You can kind of see that. And then the top of my rectangle, connecting to the vanishing point, I'm also going to draw a nice dark line there. Okay, although I think that's too big now that I look at it. And then the far corner of my rectangle, connect it through the vanishing point, draw a line. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. And all those lines point back to the vanishing point. Okay, now I'm going to start adding the rest of my lines and finishing my water fountain. So I'm going to use the edge of my envelope and just draw a horizontal line right there. Okay, and that's parallel to the bottom of the page, so it's a straight horizontal line. And then I'm going to draw a vertical line from that corner that I just made straight down to the floor where I know my water fountain goes. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and erase inside the water fountain. Again, we don't want all those confusing lines in there. Okay, so you can see it's starting to look like a rectangular prism now. Okay, oh, let's erase this one too. All right, so getting there. Now we add the details. Oh, and I want to erase this little line here. That's not necessary. Well, I'm not doing a very good job. Okay, now I'm going to draw the part that you actually drink out of. Okay, and the button. We'll just put it right there. Okay. So there's the little drinky part and the button that you push to drink. Okay. And there's my water fountain in my hallway, sticking out in front of the door. Okay. Notice it's on the floor, sticking out. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing to make lockers, but I'm going to put them back here on the other side of the door. And I'm not going to make a very big locker space, but I am going to do lockers. Okay. So I'm just going to start by drawing a vertical line. We're not going to make them all the way to the ceiling. In fact, I'm going to use the top of my door, that line that I didn't erase yesterday. I'm going to use that as my guide for the top of my lockers. Seems reasonable. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Okay. And then I need another vertical line. Also at the top of the door line. See that? There we go. That's a little easier to see, isn't it? Okay. All right. Now we want our lockers to stick out because they do. So I'm going to use my envelope again to make the front of the lockers sticking out just a little bit. Okay. So you can see I put a little line right there. And now I'm going to make that a vertical line. And I'm going to use the top of my door line again. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to take that corner and connect it to the vanishing point. Okay. And I'm just going to draw close to the other line here. Okay. It's not actually touching the vanishing point, but is pointing at it. And then I'm going to finish that front line straight down. There we go. Okay. Can you see that? Now I'm going to go ahead and erase the stuff that's inside the lockers. We don't need all those details. That just makes things confusing. Okay. Just fill in my lines neatly there. There we go. So now we've got the beginnings of our lockers. All right. Now I used the door line, so I'm just going to draw that in nice and dark. Actually, I'm not. Okay, I'm going to draw the front of the lockers with the door line. There we go. And then the side, I'm just going to make it straight back. Okay. Right there. Okay. I'm going to erase that on top. Alrighty. So, we've got the beginnings of our locker. Now I'm going to draw in my details. Okay. Usually the lockers have a top and a bottom, so I'm going to divide it roughly in half. So I'm going to figure out where about halfway is, line that up with my vanishing point, draw my line there, and then the horizontal line on the other side. Okay. You see that? All right, now I'm going to put in my locker doors. And I'm just going to make this real simple. You can make yours more detailed if you want. I'm just drawing some vertical lines. There we go. Okay. Now, a lot of the lockers have air vents. If you want to put air vents, use your vanishing point. They will not look real if you don't use the vanishing point. So you can see that what I just did is I used my vanishing point to draw just the top air vents. Okay, they're all pointing at the vanishing point. See that? All right. And then I'm going to put my next set of air vents, and those should be pretty close together. They usually are. And I'm going to turn it just a little bit and put my next set of air vents. Okay. So there's my air vents on the top lockers. Now I'm going to put air vents on the bottom lockers, same way. Use your vanishing point. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn it just a little bit, still in my vanishing point. Turn it just a little bit, still in my vanishing point. Okay. And there's my air vents on my bottom lockers. Now, if you want, you can draw the handles. Okay, and there's our lockers. Finished. All right, now I'm going to add another hallway over here because actually at Palm we do have another hallway here, the one where all the grade level bulletin boards are. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to draw that real quick. So I'm going to draw a vertical line from floor to ceiling. Okay. And then I'm going to draw another vertical line, floor to ceiling. And you can make it as big or small as you want. Okay. Then we're going to put the ceiling in there. Okay, so I'm going to draw a horizontal line. I'm going to make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, I think that's going to work. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line. It's going to be like a triangle. And the trick is I need to make sure that my envelope is straight. So I'm kind of using this ceiling line to help guide me. And then I'm just going to draw a horizontal line at the top there. Okay. You guys see that right there? Just a little horizontal line. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom where the doorway meets the floor. Again, I'm using my floor lines to help make sure my envelope is straight. Okay. And then I'm going to use my vanishing point and put some ceiling and floor tiles in there. It'll help with the optical illusion. So I just drew that little teeny line using my vanishing point. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the floor. Turn this way so I can see what I'm doing better. Using my vanishing point. There we go. Vanishing point. Okay. So you can see I just drew those two little tiny lines right there, pointing to my vanishing point. Okay. Then notice this floor line here crosses into the hallway. So we're just going to extend that straight into the hallway. And that completes the illusion of the floor going into the hallway. Okay. We can't really do that up here because there's no horizontal ceiling lines that go in there. So we're just going to have to use our imagination on that one. But now you can see another wall here. We'll label that wall. And if you wanted to, you could draw bulletin boards or whatever you want there. I'm just going to put a quick bulletin board because that is actually what we have in that wall, in that hallway at Palm. And lots of schools probably have the same thing. So there we go. Okay, so we've got our water fountain, our lockers, and our second hallway. Okay. Now the last step, once you're done with everything, the last step is to trace and erase the whole thing. Okay. So I'm not going to show you a video of that right now, but I'll do a third video, and it'll really just be really quick where I'll show you the finished product. Okay. So here we go. Here's your hallway. 1 point perspective. They call it that because our vanishing point is the 1 point. Okay. If you were getting really complicated, you could actually experiment with 2 point perspective. And if you Google that, you'll see examples of that. That's a lot harder. I suggest you try this first. This is the easier way to do it. Okay. So have fun. Try adding some things to your hallway. And you don't have to put in a water fountain or lockers or second hallway if you don't want to. Just experiment, see what you try and see what you like. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I love you guys. I miss you. I can't wait to see you again whenever that is. And in the meantime, make sure you wash your hands, sing the alphabet song while you're washing your hands, and teach your younger brothers and sisters the alphabet song so they have clean hands too. And looking forward to seeing you guys whenever that is. Okay, bye.